In this tutorial series, we will be learning how to make a zombie survival shooter game inside of Unity. This is the 10th part of the tutorial series in which we will learn how to make ammunition pickup system for our game. In the end of the video, we will be able to make this. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So as I already have told you guys, this is the 10th part of the tutorial series. In the last 9 parts we were able to make this. So the zombies were able to chase us. When they come close they can damage us. We can see the damage. We can also shoot them, and we can take the headshots, and we have some ammunition. As you can see, we have 42 bullets right now. Some of them do die, and when they die with the ragdolls. So in the last 8th part we were able to make this. So as you can see, it's pretty cool. We have our own health bar. Now as you can see, we have 0 ammunition, so we cannot no longer shoot, so we will have to reload. And once we reload, we will have our 60 bullets again, and we can also of course vault over objects. And yeah, this is what we made in the previous videos. So if you have missed those, make sure you go ahead and check them out. You can click the card over here on the top right, and you can just simply go ahead and check those videos out first. But in this video we will learn how to make the ammunition pickup system, so that there will be a slash over here, so 40 out of how much bullets we have, and after some times we will use all the bullets, so there will be no longer bullets. We can no longer reload it, and then we have to find some ammunition. Once we take the ammunition, we can then reload and all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get started. So first thing that I would like to do is of course delete all the extra zombies, so that we don't have a mess inside of our scene. And here we have a 1 zombie. Now the first thing that I would like to do is to have some ammunition pickup 3D model kind of thing. What I mean by that is this ammunition box 3D model, which I already have downloaded, and it looks something like this. So as you can see, it's simple ammunition bag kind of a thing. If I drag it inside of Unity, it's really big. I'm gonna make it small. If you want to download this, you can go ahead and click the link in the description box below. Download this 3D model just like that. And we also have some textures over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and say right click, create a texture, drag in the there we go, and there we have the texture. That make another material for the bullets, and there we go. Good. And no, there we go. Good. Now this is how our ammunition box kind of looks. So in here will be some ammunitions and all that. Yeah, this will be our ammunition box. I will make it a little smaller, so as you can see, it will be placed over here, and when we go ahead and go near it, we will be able to take some ammunition. Once you're happy with your ammunition box, you can go ahead and come in here and say unpack the prefab, just like that. Okay, now in here what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and first reset okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say add component and add a box collider, just like that. And the box collider I think will be really small, so I will have to make it big. Basically this collider will be the area that will, you know, if the player is in this area, it means we can take the ammunition, right? So we're gonna make the box collider a little big, just like that. So if the player enters somewhere in this area and we press some certain button, we should be able to pick up the ammunition. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go down and move it a little up, just like that. There we go. And decrease the size in the Y also, but it does not matter actually. And one thing you will have to do is you have to set it to is trigger, because we don't want to actually collide with this box collider. We just want to check if someone is colliding with this or not. Alright, so basically if I go ahead and real quick play the game, and if it is set to is trigger, I'm gonna just simply show you guys what is the difference. So if I remove the is trigger and I pause the game and disable the zombie, just like that. Okay, now if I go ahead and come near it, as you can see, we can collide with this box collider. So we are basically colliding with this box collider. As you can see, we can no longer go near the ammunition box. But if I set to is trigger, and now if I try to move, we can go inside it, and yeah, we can do everything. But what it will do is this box collider will detect whether or not someone is coming in this collider or not, right? So that is why we will have to set it to is trigger. Cool. Now we want to go ahead and check whether or not the player is entering the this area or not. All right, so how do we do that is we go ahead and add some coding. So I will go ahead and say FSM. There we go, we have an FSM. If you don't see this object, it means you haven't seen any of my previous videos and you don't have Playmaker. Playmaker is a really cool asset that helps you make games without writing a single line of code. Everything you just saw over here is made without writing a single line of code. If you want to get Playmaker, you can simply go ahead and download it or buy it from Asset Store. If you don't want to buy it, you can simply download it for free. The link will be in the description box below. I personally will provide it to you guys, and once you have it, you can just simply go ahead and import it inside of Unity and you will be good to go. If you have some confusions, make sure you see the first video in this tutorial series in this playlist. In the first video I import Playmaker and tell you everything, so that you don't have any confusion. So the first thing that we want to go ahead and check is that whether or not someone is entering this collider or not. So how do we do that is by say trigger event. There we go, trigger event, and we're gonna say on trigger entered, which means when someone enters this area. And the one that we want to check is the player. So some game object that has the tag player, when that game object enters this area, which means the player enters this area, we're gonna go ahead and say show text, which will be, you know, take the ammo or something like that. We're gonna go ahead and say add transition and make a new state, and bam, there we go. Now you have to go to the player and make sure its tag is set to player, and yeah, you will be good to go. Now if I go ahead and select the ammo box and play the game, hopefully when we come near this ammo box, we should come from this state to this state. Okay, let's see. If I go ahead and real quick run towards there, as you can see, we can go to the now state 2. That is pretty cool. Zombie also comes near us, but yeah, does not matter. I'm gonna just disable the zombie for now because we don't need that guy right now. We are just focusing on the ammo box. So when we enter this area with the player, we can come in this state 2. Now in here we want to show some text that pick up the ammo or something, or press E to pick up the ammo or something like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the canvas to add some text elements. If you don't have canvas, in our case I do have canvas for this text and this health bar over here, but if you don't have it, you can simply right click UI and say canvas. There we go. And once you have it, you can click the canvas, and in there you can say right click, create UI and a text, and when you press F, it will zoom out and you will have this text over here. So if I maximize it, as you can see, there's a little text over here that is really small. Now we're gonna go ahead and say the text will be press E to pick ammo, I guess. I don't know. So once you have the text over here, as you can see, it is written over here, press E to pick ammo. So now we will have to make it bigger because we can barely see it, or we cannot basically see it. So in order to make it bigger, I'm gonna go ahead and select this tool over here and make it bigger, but it will not make it bigger at all. So how do we make it big? Well, you will have to make it big from this font size over here. So if you increase it, as you can see, it is increasing, but we cannot no longer see it because, yeah, of course, we will have to make this bigger, just like that. So press E to pick ammo. There we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and reset the position to 0 0 0 so that it is in the center of the screen, just like that. Press E to pick ammo. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and set the text to white so that we can see it or anything like that. I'm gonna go ahead and hold shift and click that so that anchor point is right in the center. So yeah, that will be good. Now as you can see, we have press E to pick ammo. That is pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and make it just a little over here, and there we go. Now this text will show up whenever we come close to this. All right, of course the UI is looking really bad right now, but I will have a separate video in this tutorial series, maybe the next or next of next, in which I will focus on everything on UI. So of course all of the UI is looking really bad, but I will make a separate video on how to make your UI look better and, you know, professional kind of. But for now it will work. Press E to pick up ammo. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say pick up UI, rename it to pick up UI, and we can enable and disable it whenever we come close to this guy. So when the game starts, we want to disable, so we're gonna disable it for now. We're gonna go back to the ammo box, say edit this guy, and in here when the player comes near this, we're gonna go ahead and say activate game object, and we're gonna activate this pickup UI. So say specify the game object, drag it inside of Unity, and drag inside of over here and say activate, which means this is disabled, this is enabled. All right, and when the game starts, I'm gonna copy this guy and we're gonna come in here and paste it and deactivate this, because when the player is not in the trigger, we want to deactivate it. So now if I play the game, we should basically see the text pop up when we come close to the emanation box. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and, oh shit, this is some problem because of the zombie is not over here. If I enable the zombie and disable it, as you can see, it's fixed. No big deal. Now if I come close to the ammo box, you will see we have this text over here, press E to pick up ammo. But the problem is that if I go away from the ammo box, we are still seeing this press E to pick ammo text that we don't want to see. How do we fix that? Well, we can come in here and copy this trigger event, copy that, paste it in here, and this time we're gonna go ahead and say on trigger exit, which means the player exits the trigger. We're gonna go ahead and say finished, so control click over here and say finished back over there, just like that. So now we have a loop. Whenever the player enters this area, the text will show up, and whenever he gets out of this, the text will be disabled. Right, so next thing what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the input from the user. So whenever we are in this area, when we press E, that is we will get the ammo. So how do we press E, how do we get E, how do we get the input? For that we will have to set up the controls. So I'm going to go to the input, edit, project settings, and in there we will have input, just like that. And in here we will have to add a thing. So as you can see, you will have the size over here. Now if you want to add a control, you will have to increase this number with 1. In my case it's 33. We will have to set it to 34, and when we do that, you will see that the last thing is duplicated. Now in here we can simply go ahead and rename it to, I'm gonna rename it to E, and come in here and alt negative button, positive button, and I'm gonna set it to E, just like that. So now the button name is E. I'm gonna set it to pick up or anything, but for now we can set it to E, and the button actually is E. This is the name, this is the actual button. Now I hope it is not a confusing one, but yeah, in here we're gonna go ahead and say get button down, just like that, which means when we press a button, and that button will be E that we just made, so E. And make sure the spellings are the same. In my case it's just capital E, so make sure it is. And then we're gonna go ahead and say pick up ammo, pick ammo, just like that. Make it, and there we go, just like that. Right now this system should basically work. If I go ahead and play the game right now, this system should basically work. How? Let's see. And in here, of course, when we get the ammo, we of course wanna go ahead and disable the UI. So copy this guy, paste it in here, and simply disable it. Now if you play the game, hopefully it will work. So when the game starts, we are in the state 1, and if I go ahead and go near this guy, we will be able to see the UI. Press E to pick up ammo. If I press E, you will see we come in the state 3 and the UI is disabled. It is working properly. That is pretty cool. So with that working properly, let's move on to the actual thing. So if I go to the canvas, and in here we have the ammo text. So if I press F, this is the ammunition text that we have over here. That we cannot see it right now because of the color mismanagement, but if I set this to dark color, we can see it right now. Okay, so when the game starts, this value becomes 60 due to some coding, right? So but we want to set it to 30. Let's say if we set it to 30, just like that, and let's just real quick go to the player, and in here we have some ammunition kind of thing. If I go to the movement, I guess it is in here. So as you can see, the ammunition value is set to 60 when the game starts. Instead of setting it 60, we're gonna set it to 30, just like that. So whenever the game starts, it's gonna become 30. Okay, so this is the actual ammunition text. I'm gonna go ahead and make it small, just like that, and move it over here just a little bit, so we have room for the other ammo, the total ammo. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this guy, and this one will be called total ammo. Rename it to total ammo, just like that. All right, total A, but does not matter. I'm gonna bring it right over here. All right, just like that. There we go. Now this will be the total ammo when the game start. Let's say the total ammo is 60. All right, and we have to add a slash over here, so let's do that. I'm gonna really quick go ahead and say let's just duplicate the other one just like that, and I'm gonna say slash. My caps lock is on, slash. There we go, and this is the slash. All right, so we have 30 bullets out of 60. This is what it means. I'm gonna go ahead and make this white, set it to back to white, and set this to back to white, just like that. All right, so 30 out of 60. All right, and I'm gonna set this to back to white. Okay, there we go. 30 out of 60 bullets. All right, now this is what it'll be. This is what it should be when the game starts. But as we let's play the game and let's see. Basically nothing will happen actually, but so it says we have 30 bullets out of 60. If I go ahead and keep on shooting it, and as you can see we have less and less bullets, and when it becomes 0, when we reload the bullet, now we want to go ahead and subtract 30 out of it and add 30 in it. All right, so when we reload it, this should become less 30 and this should become 30. Now it is not working at all, so we will have to tweak some codes, but this is what we want. So we want to subtract 30 from here, add 30 in there, and when this becomes 0, this is when we want to get the ammo over here, and when we get the ammo over here, it will be added in here. I hope you're understanding. If you're not, then I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I have to say. Okay, I'm gonna go to the player, and in here when we go to the fire, let's see where we have reloading. I guess this is the this is the FSM in which we reload. Yeah, this one. Okay, so in here we reload, in here we reload, in here we reload, and so when the reload is finished, we set the value of this guy back to 30. No, back to 60, which should be 30 because we have changed the ammunition. So when the reload is completed, we will set this value back to 30. But before we do anything, we want to check whether or not this guy is greater than 0 or not, or it is greater than 30 or not, right? So because we want to subtract 30 from here, right? Yeah, I hope you're understanding it. So but before we do any of this, we will have to set the value of this first, and yeah, do the major thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and select the player, go to the movement in here, just like that, and in here when we set the value of this guy ammunition, I'm gonna go ahead and say copy this guy, paste it, and say new global variable. This will be the total ammunition. Total ammunition, and we're gonna set the value of this guy to 60 for now. We can of course change it later on, but yeah, and we're gonna set this to 60. All right, and the next thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and set this text equal to the value of the total that we just over here, total ammunition. So we're gonna set this value equal to this value every frame. How we do that is we go ahead and select the total ammunition, go ahead and say add component FSM in there, and say edit, and drag in this text component right in here, and say set property. And of course we're gonna do the same exact thing that we did for this guy. So set the text, where is it, text and string, and we're gonna set the text equal to the global variable convert ammunition total ammo, just like that, and we're gonna set this to every frame. Cool. Now, so in order to check this everything is working, I'm gonna go to the player and I'm gonna change the value from 60 to 50 or 68. Yeah, 68. So when the game starts, this guy should become 68, but let's go ahead and come in here. I think, yeah, in here we're gonna go ahead and add another state, and this is the problem that we encountered. So we have to paste this over here, and in here we're gonna say wait for 0.5 or 0.1 seconds, 0.2 seconds, finished, come in here, wait for yeah, just like that. So what is basically happening is when the game starts, we're gonna wait for some time so that this player over here initializes the values of these guys, otherwise it won't work. All right, so we just waited for a little time, 0.2 seconds, and then we set this value equal to the value of this guy every frame. So if you play the game right now, this guy should become, instead of 60, it should become 68 after 0.2 seconds. So there we go. As you can see, it is 68 right now. So everything is properly working. Good. Now this guy is showing the exact value of the this variable over here. So we're gonna set this back to 60 and everything is working. That is pretty cool. Now that is working, what we're gonna do is we wanna go ahead and go to the reloading thingy in here, and in here we're gonna go ahead and say add another state in between. So when we press R and press the reload, and when we go ahead and in here we set the value of this guy back to 30, instead of doing that we're gonna first check whether or not we have the ammunition or not, right? Because if this guy is 0, we cannot reload anymore because we don't have any ammunition. So in here we're gonna go ahead and say compare float compare. We're gonna compare the value of the global variable, that is the ammunition, total ammunition, and we're gonna compare it with the 30 because we are subtracting 30 from it. And yeah, so if it is equal to 30, we're gonna go ahead and say reload. If it is greater than 30, we're gonna go ahead and say reload, just like that. And if it is less than 30, then yeah, we're gonna go ahead and finished for now, and we're gonna come back over here because we don't have any ammunition, right? Yeah, so we're gonna come back in here instead, sorry, in here, because this is the state when we have zero things, right? Okay, good. Now if you are still confused, make sure you see the previous videos in which we made the whole FSM, so because yeah, you won't be able to understand what is happening over here. So yeah, make sure you see the videos first, in the last videos, and yeah, you will be good to go then. Okay, so what basically we are doing is whenever we press R, when we have 0 ammunition over here, this guy is 0, we're gonna press R to reload. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna compare the total ammunition, which will be this guy. If this guy is greater than 30 or equal to 30, then we can reload. If it is less than 30, then it means we cannot reload, right? So play the game and see if it is working or not. And basically it will work, of course. Okay, so shoot, it becomes 0. I press R and it comes directly over here, which means it is greater than 0. But as you can see, it is set to 30, and but this guy is still 60, so we're gonna subtract 30 from here every time we reload. All right, so we will have to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and come in here and say float add, just like that, and we're gonna add minus 30 to the total ammunition, minus 30, which means we are subtracting 30 from this variable, just like that, there we go. Good. All right, that will be good to go. Now if you play the game, you will see that this will be subtracted 30, hopefully. If I shoot, it becomes 0. I reload and this becomes 30. As you can see, now it's 30, and next time it should become 0, and as you can see, it is set to 0. We have 30 bullets over here, and now when we go ahead and do that, we have 0, 0. As you can see, now we cannot no longer reload. So I'm pressing R, we are switching between these two states, and I can no longer shoot, I can no longer reload. Now this is the time when this thing comes in, right? So yeah, everything is properly working. Now we have to use this ammunition box to do something. Now what we do is we come in here, and basically when we press E to take the ammunition, we basically float add, and we add the total ammo with 30. All right, you can of course add it to whatever you want, but it's gonna add to 30 and it is gonna destroy itself, because we take the ammunition, it's gonna destroy itself. So next frame event, or we're gonna wait for 1 second or 0.2 seconds. Okay, 0.3. Say finished, come in here, and it's gonna destroy itself, just like that, and it's gonna destroy itself. Simple as that. Hopefully everything should properly work. Let's see if everything is properly working or not. So I'm gonna shoot, and 0. Reload, it's set to 30, and shoot. Reload, it's set to 0, and shoot. And now we can no longer reload, no longer fire. If I come over here and press E to pick up ammo, I pick up the ammo, and as you can see, the ammo is no longer over there, it destroyed itself. We have 30 ammunition over here, and I can no longer shoot, but if I press R, we can take that ammo and reload it over here, and now we can shoot. There we go, there we go. And I can no longer of course shoot because we have 0 ammunition. So yeah, everything is properly working. Now we can of course spawn these ammunition boxes randomly in the scene, or whenever the enemy dies we can spawn this guy over there, and basically we can do much things. So if you want to spawn this ammunition box whenever the zombie dies, we can do that also. So how do we do that is we go to the damage, and in the damage this is the state in which the thing dies, the zombie dies. So first before we do anything, we will have to make the prefab out of this ammunition box. So if I select the assets and simply drag it inside over here, so I'm gonna say right click, create a folder of prefabs, just like that. Open that, drag in the ammo box in there. Now as you can see it is blue, which means it is a prefab. Now I'm gonna delete it from here, select the zombie, go to the damage, and whenever the zombie dies, this is in this state, we're gonna go ahead and say create create object, and we're gonna create the ammo box, spawn it inside of the zombie, just like that. All right, hopefully it will work, hopefully. So let me just quickly explain what I did. Basically what is happening in this state, the zombie dies, so everything is set to false, he dies, the ragdoll is enabled and all that, and we are creating this prefab, the ammo box, and the spawn point will be the zombie. I think it works, I think. So yeah, let's see if it's working or not. So if I go ahead and real quick take a quick kill this enemy, there we go, the enemy is died, and we have an ammo box over here. If I go ahead and shoot somewhere and reload it, now we have a 30 ammunition over here. If I go ahead and real quick press E, as you can see we have a 30 ammunition over here. So everything is properly working. When the zombie dies, he gives us some ammunition. So this is how you make a ammunition pickup system for your game. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. In the next video we will make a character switch system. So we will have multiple characters, and before the game starts we will be able to switch between the characters, so that we want to choose your own character. And yeah, character switch system, character choosing system, choosing screen and all that UI good stuff. And then we will also make a UI tutorial, so make all this shit look better. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next video. If you don't want to miss any future videos, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload any tutorial video. And yeah, that will be it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.